Yeah, he's only anti-Semitic when he's drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yes.
Which is
People
all the time?
Yeah, these days, probably. Wait, I'm being recorded.
And
Allegedly.
we're live.
No! Allegedly.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hollowed RPG channel here on Twitch and YouTube. I am your DM for the evening, Richard, and we are back with the campaign Eye the Storm and the Storm Chasers. Say hello, everybody.
Hello,
Hello, everybody.
everybody. Mel Gibson.
Indeed. What's up, Mel Gibson? Please don't sue us. Welcome back. It's been a bit since our last session, so I'll do a recap. Storm Chasers. You find yourself in the frigid outlands of the north. Vorheim. Hal's home. Chasing leads about your mysterious enemy, Enix, who is the mastermind and secret power behind Hal's old enemy, the clan of the Crystal Blade. A war-mongering tribe of orcs that have subjugated all the other orcish tribes to their will and has made war here in the north. After finding out the location of the Northern Watchers' lost fortress and capital in the Dead Grove from the spirit of the Oracle, you find yourselves in the mountains, the southern range of your homeland, Hal. And after some conversations with some of the elder fauna in the area, you found the location that has been lost for generations. After a tough battle with a monstrous beast that had made its home in the mouth where the fortress was sunk, you discovered a series of strange statues depicting 4 elemental creatures. After accidentally discovering that touching these statues hurt you, a portal was formed and you were transported to some other dimension of fire and ash. And after a tense, quick battle, were able to successfully solve the riddle and focus the energy from that plane back through the portal into the large crystal in between all of the statues. Exhausted from your fight with the creature previously guarding the entrance, and now this fight in this fire plane, you all decided to take a rest for the night. Safe and cozy in the comforts of Fenthwick's magical dome, you all found yourself drifting to sleep. Well-deserved, well-needed rest. Some of you. Fenthwick, as you drifted off to sleep, your mind going blank, the weariness taking over, you found yourself once again in large meadow fields. Bright sunlight shining down from a bright blue sky, and a now familiar voice calling out from behind you. Well, Master Rivenstone, have you contemplated the questions you have for me?
I have.
And as you say that and you turn, you see, once again, the robed figure. Almost reptilian. Hard scales. The avatar or spirit, something of what he calls himself, First Fang Tarisu. a silver-scaled, humanoid-looking dragon. Well then, an agreement was made. You answered me truthfully. What questions do you have of me?
Question I have. Are you familiar with Enix? That's not the question. I was just making sure we're on the same page.
Nope, sorry, it works like Speak with Dead. That counts as a question.
Yeah.
He looks at you. Enix. Sounds a bit druidic, but I can't say I'm familiar.
You're not familiar with Enix. Okay, what do you know
Would
about...
I be?
I don't know. See, that's the problem. I don't really know what you know. Okay, how about Siberian?
Siberian. The name sounds of the invaders. I'm not familiar with it.
Now here's where I'm fuzzy on the mythology. But he's a dragon that's bound somehow.
Dragon bound.
Yes.
Does your mythology have any descriptions of this bound dragon?
And I tell him everything I can remember.
So yeah, what you do remember is that Siberian is one of in the known mythology, is one of the lieutenants of Valinar, the Fallen. And always just in the brief descriptions that you've ever heard, is a white dragon. And you say this dragon is bound.
Yeah.
And still lives?
I suppose so. I'm not personally acquainted with him. I didn't think he is capable of dying. Thought he was sort of eternal.
I know not the name Siberian.
Well, then I guess you
No.
can't really help us there.
But there are the 6 lords, the 6 flights. But they are not dragons, they are gods. Well, dragons.
Well, I guess Siberian's is a kind of god or demigod. But he's typically pictured as a dragon.
I should have said no mere dragon. We dragons and my kind are the offspring. We are their servants. But to bind a god, blasphemy.
Well, it doesn't sound like you would be very helpful then, because this Enix fellow seems to want to undo this binding, which we think would be really bad.
Undo the binding. Enix.
Do you know about the Sacred Grove of Gian? Does that ring any bells?
Gian. Gian is the name of one of the generals of the invaders. I know not of any grove that you would possess.
Beginning to think that you are so old, you may not be much help. You may have existed a time way before any of this.
Indeed, I existed in a time before any of your kind would have appeared in my lands. At least I have not seen one such as you before. This vision, this plane, whatever existence this might be.
So let's stick a pin in that one and come back to it. The other question, with this you will know something about. The staff that I inherited. I'm currently I am not able to, shall we say, fully master it, unlock its potential. I'm somewhat limited.
It is quite powerful, but comes at quite the cost, yes.
So how would I go about increasing my control?
Now that is something I do know, Master Ravenstone. For my very existence here is your answer. Your staff was my staff.
I'm aware.
When I was struck down, repelling off those who would claim our home as theirs, who would cast down the very gods, it seems that my thirst for vengeance permeated my soul, my power, and it attached a part of myself to my staff. I'm not sure if you can even call me a soul. I'm not sure exactly what I am either, despite my long years of arcane study. I was never much for the magics of the divine. If I could somehow be freed, then I'd imagine my curse would be lifted from the staff as well.
All right. So, do you have any idea how we might go about doing that?
At the moment, no. Perhaps, however, while we try to figure this out together, I can instruct you on how to better perhaps manage some of the power of the staff. In exchange, of course, for something of my asking.
Sure. What did you have in mind?
Help me find out what has happened to my people. There must be something buried there, out there in your world, the real world. Perhaps that could be the answer to the question in itself. My life was dedicated to my people. And now I have none.
Do you have any clue where we would begin to look?
The... Well, if you say that you have never heard or seen anyone like me out there,
I haven't.
then perhaps the only two people that we both know, the invaders. I think in your tongue it would be the elves.
Any specific elves? I mean, the elves that covers a lot of territory.
A lot of
I mean,
territory.
I've met many elves.
Yes, it seems that once they wiped us out, they spread all across this world. There was one mage who seemed unlike the rest. He was curious about us, about the world, about what even his own people were doing. I'm not sure if he would even be alive if he survived the war. What was his name? Ambrosius, I believe.
Now, that is a name I do know.
Indeed. So he did survive.
If it's the same elf, yes, but I do know of a mage named Ambrosius. He's rather famous.
He did seem talented. It's a shame we were on opposite sides of a war.
Then I may know a place to begin a search. His tower still exists.
He has a tower.
Yep. And I just so happen to have an entry into it.
Very well. So, it is agreed then. You
might not be able to get to that right away. Me and my companions are right in the middle of something at the moment that we can't really step away from. But you're next on the list, I swear.
He gestures around.
Not going anywhere, right?
I don't seem to be going anywhere exactly. But your first question intrigues me. A bound dragon. Why would they not simply destroy him?
Oh, I assume it wasn't
like all the
possible.
others. Only the gods cannot be killed, Bentwick Urbanson. Even the elves, with their immortality, were slain in battle. I will think on it more, and perhaps I could be of more help if you could give me more information.
Well, apparently I'm going to have to roll up my sleeves and go back to divinity school. Right, I didn't pay that much attention to those myths.
I knew there was a reason I liked you, Fenwick Rivenstone. Well, it is agreed upon then. I will help you with the staff and any other questions you may have. And you will help me find out about my people and for a way to free my soul from this place. Yes?
Agreed. We have an accord.
And he holds out his hand, and you see it glowing a bit.
How's he holding it out? Like a
For
shake
like a
or
handshake,
a
yeah.
wave? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll give him the handshake.
And as you clasp his hand, you feel some magical energy swirl around your clasped hands and take hold within you. Well then, Master Evanstone, you look like you need some sleep.
I
And the
do.
world
It's been a
begins to
day.
fade around you as your mind goes blank and then wanders into the realm of normal dreams. The last thing you can remember is flickering firelight, laughter of friends and family, and large shadows dancing in a ring around the firelight. As morning comes, and you can all get a long rest. Corvine, your constitution remains lowered.
Good to know. Core looks a little awkward in his morning exercises, morning stances.
What do you all do?
If we're not in a hurry, I'd like to take an hour and reconjure my familiar.
That's up for you. That's for you guys to decide. You can talk amongst yourselves to decide what you want to do.
Yeah, I don't even ask. I can just start the ritual.
Yep.
Yeah. I imagine.
You're all okay with this? You're all okay with this, right? Thanks. I thought so.
Belladin,
Well-
as the dome fades, you look out, and you see that the beam of energy coming from the portal of fire is still there. However, the portal appears to be about half the size as it was when you first
Okay.
went to sleep.
And what we slept 8 hours, 10 hours. How much time passed?
I would probably say it was still a few hours from when you went in the dome, so probably like, let's say 10 to 12 hours. You've noticed it's been gotten to about half its size.
Well, while he's taking an hour to, do the summoning circle and all that, I imagine going into summoning a familiar. Belladin is just going through his notes, his research that he's done, and his cartography scrolls that he has with him everywhere. He doesn't really have much to update, but he uses that time to basically realize what you've told me as a player, that how much time has passed, how much smaller the portal is, and he looks to those who are not currently occupied. I imagine Core's doing their exercises, and Finthwick is summoning, so he looks towards the other two who may be sitting there. We're opening rations or whatever to break our fast. And
Yep.
and
While
he
you're breaking your fast,
motions.
Paladin,
Okay.
make a Constitution save for me.
Oh shit. Okay. Wow. Natural 20 for a 23.
You feel a sharp pain deep within the bones of your hand.
Right.
Almost where it's so much that you can't even hold your tools, your bowl, whatever it is in that hand, but you're able to push through it. And as you start to prepare the rations, you look at it almost a bit disgusted as you have this intense craving for meat.
Yep. Okay. All right. Good to know. And he kind of just is like shaking his hand in front of everybody. He moves his plate with or bowl with rations on it to his other hand and is shaking his hand and stretching it. And uses that hand that he's shaking towards the portal and says, "That's smaller than after we were done and went to sleep. So we may not be able to rest like this after each step, especially if we want them all to be open." Looking at the statue and the way it how many more of these do we need to do based on what we surmised so far?
There are 3 more. So you saw a statue of a fire elemental,
Mhm.
a earth, air, and water. So
Okay.
they're kind of situated in like almost, 3, like 4, 4 cardinal points around
Course.
this large crystal.
Yeah, and he did water walking last night as he usually does, but he's got water breathing ready to do as a ritual just in case, because he remembers what the the seemingly plane of fire was like last night, so he doesn't know which one they're doing next, but yeah, he's ready.
Anyone else like to do anything? The hour goes by. Fentwick, you were able to cast your Find Familiar, and Archie reappears. What would you all like to do?
Well, I suppose we need to continue opening portals.
The question is it clear based on the success we've had thus far which one we're supposed to go into next, or is it does it look like we need to pick? Is it just not evident?
I mean, there's not like a glowing arrow saying
Yeah.
this one
Well,
next.
when we showed
Yeah.
up, the fire one was the only one that reacted. So we have to do the same
Yeah,
thing again. See what reacts.
you can certainly try.
Oh, right.
Now, I will say that if you would remember this, and especially looking at Core, how he looks, that the portal opened. The change happened when Core seemingly sacrificed to the statue, right?
Yeah, it was a choice.
Is that maybe not even a choice, but is that it took something from core rather than just plain damage.
No consent around here.
Wow.
What would y'all like to do?
Belden's gonna take off his glove on his other hand, and the one that wasn't hurting, and touch the statue for water.
You touched the statue for water, no reaction.
Spits in his hand, and then he puts it on the statue again to see if it absorbs the moisture.
No reaction.
Well, maybe it's not this one then. Who wants to check the others?
Core will touch air.
You touch air, and I need a dexterity saving throw, Core.
Why? Why? Core, why are you doing this? You've already sacrificed.
We needed to find it. Yeah. That's not great. 15?
15?
Yep.
You take 10 points of slashing damage as the air whips around. As soon as you make contact with the statue, from the base of it, the air starts to swirl and grow in speed and almost lash out with like 1,000 tiny blades, and you jerk your hand back in reaction.
Core points. I think it's this one.
Yeah, that was pretty clear. Well, who's next?
Well, there's only one portal left.
No, there's 3.
Well,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've got air, wind, wind, water, and earth.
Well, the hot one felt like it tested my stamina. This one is more reaction time.
So what's left?
Oh, you mean of the 3?
Yeah.
Well, only the fire one is good so far, right? Based on what we've seen in the statue, it lit up, or were some already lit up before we started?
No, there were none lit up. The fire statue, once you made contact and sacrificed, the portal opens, right? And then once you solved the riddle of the statues there and got the energy connected, there was a like a beam of flame going through the portal into the statue, and the statue's eyes are aflame, and now there is this inlet of crystal that does not really apparent until it became glowing with energy leading from the statue to the inner crystal, and now there's a section of the crystal that is glowing with this fire energy.
Belladin looks at Core and completely in character asks, "How much con did you lose?"
1?
Okay, cool, good times.
Was it 1?
What is this? Is this druid speak you're talking? What are you talking about?
100% druid speak. This is how druids speak.
1 stamina hurts.
They, yeah, it really does when it's like
If I had to put a number to it.
Well, yeah, I would be significantly hurt by losing 1 dex, but if
I mean,
it's so dumb to have this conversation in character.
Yep.
I can stand to lose some intellect, obviously. So who's in between on the dex?
Why would a monk need dex?
Oh no, you shouldn't touch this at all. You should you should get away from it. Is anyone an odd number on Dex?
Sorry, Core, and it should have been 2, not 1.
It should have been 2.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Same
rough.
thing.
Yeah, mechanically it affects you the same. Is anybody, well, I guess it doesn't matter. I can lose some. Baladin just shakes his head and puts his open palm. He hasn't put his glove back on, and he puts it on the statue, and he wills the sacrifice to happen, knowing that that's
Right,
what needs
so
to be done.
you choose to fail your dexterity saving throw, and Core, sorry, you saved, so it's only 5 points of slashing damage to you.
Nice.
So Belladin, you take 12 points of slashing damage. And as the air around you swirls and cuts into you in these tiny little cuts, you feel like almost being pulled into the statue, and you can't release it for the moment. And as the air swirls around your arm into the statue, you feel almost an ache in your joints, as your dexterity is reduced by 2.
All right, I will adjust it.
And you see, once again, on the other side of the statue, facing away from the inner crystal, its palm out, sword down, the swirl of air start to grow bigger and bigger and bigger, as once again another portal, this time made almost of pure wind, where it swirling so fast you can't see the center of it, appears.
Oh, all right. Well, that sucked. Let's go in.
Go in.
Yeah, to your swirling portal.
Yep.
All right, you enter through the portal. The sacrifice already being made. You take no damage.
Okay.
And you enter in to a vast, rocky landscape. The first thing you notice is the gales that buffet you. All around, the wind blowing. You have to shield your eyes from the dust. And a little bit ahead of you, in this vast, almost plateau, you see a small circle of statues.
This is familiar. Has everybody else joined me? Are they able to make it through, or do they take damage when they go through the portal?
Who's gone through?
I'm Belladin for
Think-
sure.
Cal's
I
gone
have.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
went
of
up there.
course.
So yeah, none of you take damage. It's just like with the fire portal. Once the sacrifice has been made,
Okay.
you take no damage going through the portal.
Well, let's go together.
I feel like out of all of us, I'm the one who can do the most while holding the statue again. Whoa. What does everyone else think? I'm not great at concentrating, though. That is the problem. It was very difficult for me to keep concentration.
Wind is strong. I'm not sure how arrows will be, so should go close.
Yep. Belladin puts his longbow away. He's got the Staff of the Woodlands in one hand.
All right. What would you all like to do?
So, I know it was just yesterday, but what did we do exactly last time?
I held onto the statue as best as I could, and as I did so, fire elementals came up and attempted to
That's
attack
right.
me and us to get me off of um, the
Yeah.
statue, and eventually a stronger fire elemental came out of the statue, I think, and attacked me in an attempt to get me away from the statue.
So yeah, the encounter that you all had yesterday in game, you shot fire into 4 of the statues that then produced flames, and then there was a 5th statue where you had with its hand held out. And then Belladin, once you clasped that statue's hand, the fire started to grow from the other 4 statues and grow towards the crystal in the center. Eventually, that statue you were holding on to turned into a fire elemental warrior.
Can anyone make wind?
I mean,
Handed me that one. Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, Fenthwaite puts his hands together and does that.
I mean,
Does that count?
I wish I had remembered what this was all about, because I would have prepared some wind spells, I think. I don't know how you feel about that, Richard. I don't have any like elemental cantrips though.
Yeah, I mean, we just had a long rest. You guys knew you knew this was an elemental
Right.
challenge
Gotcha.
ahead of you, so you can
Yep.
prepare what you'd like.
It makes sense to prepare one of each element, right?
To produce wind?
Yeah, I don't have a cantrip. I do have a 2nd level spell though. That's a lot.
So right now, remember that you're at the entrance of like where the portal drops you off, and it's a few hundred feet towards where the statues are.
Is it just ground to walk?
Yeah, it's just flat, open plateau ahead of you in all directions.
Yeah. When we started moving, that's when the fire elementals showed up, I believe.
I think it was when
So
That was when
We
we lit
need-
the 4th one on fire, is when they started showing up.
Okay.
We need wind?
Wind.
Yeah.
Do we need a lot of wind or just a little bit of wind?
We need 4 uses of wind at the minimum.
Well, I mean, here's an interesting thing. As a druid, I have Gust of Wind, and it's a concentration spell, and I can just keep doing it every round for up to a minute. And it's a line of wind that I can just every round choose a different direction to shoot it. So.
Well, you got me beat. The best I can do is this, and I do prestidigitation, and you get a little puff of wind in your face.
You don't even notice it with the gales around you.
Yeah, so I just put it in the chat so everyone can see it. This will let me shoot wind up to 10 times, or up to 10 times.
Yeah.
It's not
Hey,
probably
just
going
be
to do
careful where you
anything.
point that thing.
Yes, that's I could literally knock people pretty far back. So I don't think it's going to do anything against the elementals though, right? Because it's just wind against wind.
Yeah, but it's to use to activate the statues.
Yep. So I prepared that because I knew we were going to have to deal with wind. I'm looking for water and earth now. But I'm ready for this encounter. If you guys want to just get to it, and then I can grab the other stuff later.
Yeah. We all gather around and get ready to beat the heck out of the 5th statue. Just in case.
Yep.
Are you guys going to the statue? Because again, you're still at the entrance.
We're
Yes.
walking while we're talking. Come on.
Yes, we're walking
Let's
and
walk
talking.
talk. We have
This is
legs and mouths.
what's that director's name?
That didn't narrow it down at all.
Yeah, there's
did
lots.
West
Walk
Wing.
and talk it. Yeah, well, you're probably thinking of Aaron Sorkin, the writer.
That's him. He's like well known for the walks and talks, and that's what we're doing
I see.
We're
Right.
Sorkining it.
across.
As
the
you get closer, everyone can give me perception checks.
Yes, sir.
Perception.
Oh my God. What is going on?
I'm still looking for it on the Foundry sheet.
You click details, the cog in the at the very top, and that's all your skills and saves and stuff.
Say perception, you say.
Poppy, as you're all walking forward, you see 4 statues encircling a 5th in the center. Well, the thing you notice is that while there's dust being blown all around you, the closer you get, you notice that within probably a 60-foot radius around this circle of statues, the air doesn't seem to be moving. You don't see any dust being kicked up. You don't see anything in the air, you know? There appears to be no air movement when you get near. Belladin, you notice the statues more in detail. There appears to be 4 more of these elemental guardians, armored with weapons in various poses, with large swords, but they're broad, rounded, almost leaf-like, like large leaves the blades make up, and they're all in different poses surrounding this center figure that has their hands connected, palms up against their chest, and what appears to be a effigy of wind made out of stone swirling all around them.
Yeah, I'll relate that to the group.
So will I. Kind of looks like a Eye of the Storm kind of thing.
That's a good name for it. That's where we're gonna be.
I would say, Belladin, with your insight as well, the statues almost look to be dancing in their poses with the weapons.
Okay, yep. Wow, that would actually mean something to Belladin, considering his magic has like a dance-like quality to it.
Yeah, it's one thing, that's why you pick it up so easily.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, he'll make sure and share that, and to caution everybody, because if they start moving, it's gonna be bad. Just an update. I found a different wind spell that I like better for this, because it might actually do damage to the elementals. So I'm preparing that instead. It's also concentration, something that I can move. So just a heads up.
Yeah, you can, like I said, you would have had time to think and prepare whatever you want. So
Thank you, sir. Would I need to roll nature to see? Because there's not a lot of. I have a water spell, but it's like create water, right? Do I know enough about magic, or would Finthwick know enough about magic? Could I ask him about like if I could use the ice spell, and have the effect on the statues that we want? If that would be like an Arcana check or something. Like I imagine this conversation is like a flashback we had the previous night before we went to sleep or something.
yeah, so what is this exactly you're asking? If ice would affect the statues?
Yeah, because we know we have to do water at some point. So I'd be asking, hey, I can create water, but it's not. Would that be fine, or could I bring something like ice knife or something similar? Would ice work, or would it need to be specifically water?
Yeah, I would say that if you're discussing with Fenthwick, you guys can make Arcana checks.
I got a +0, so.
Okay, hang on. No. Wrong sheet.
Nice. 21.
21. So you would think that if the magic of what you're facing and some on these puzzles would require arcane water, that in its essence, any spells with ice would have to have their basis in water.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Thank you, Fenthwick.
What would you all like to do? As you are now approaching the edge of the statues, and you feel immediately the air grow still.
Well, everyone ready?
Let her blow.
Yep.
First action is going to be to enact symbiotic entity. One of my wild shapes, I get 32 temp HP. Because I know we're about to get into it. And then I cast a spell. Do we have a map here? Because it's going to ask me to put a template down.
No, there's not going to be a map.
Okay.
So, Belladin, what are you doing?
Well, I clicked the button. Let's try again. It's not. Maybe it's all going to go through at once.
It actually works out, because as you go to conjure this arcane wind, you feel the spell die in your hand.
Mm.
Does not use a casting, but is not successfully cast.
Oh, interesting. I look at Fenthwick.
What happened?
Is there? He like looks around. There's no wind in here, and I couldn't cast the spell. Is there a
What do you mean
field
there's-
of?
Oh, like anti-magic?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been in an anti-magic field. I don't think.
Well,
But
I
I
tried.
couldn't-
I tried.
Go ahead.
I tried to prestidigitate something just to see if anything happens.
What are you trying to prestidigitate?
I'll create a non-magical trinket in my hand.
It appears a little rocking horse.
Okay. Okay.
So
It
magic
was,
is available here.
right, but I couldn't make the dust devil. Okay. I step out of the circle where the wind is still blowing,
Mm-hmm.
and I cast dust devil.
All right.
It's so weird it's not showing up in chat. Yeah, it's not working.
Can you do it from Foundry?
That's where I'm trying to do it.
Weird.
I had to unclick everything, concentration, everything. It maybe because we're not in an encounter or something, so it's not letting me do it.
It
But
shouldn't
that's
be.
that's the spell. Yeah, so I create a dust devil in a 5-foot cube, and I do it outside where I am, and then I try and move it into the circle where everyone else is, where there's no wind, towards one of the statues that's dancing.
All right. And how long does this spell last?
1 minute.
1 minute. I would say that you go to cast it and it starts to form, and then the wind literally rips the emerging figure away, and the magic dies in the wind. You do not lose the casting, but it is not cast.
Huh. Well, what do y'all think?
You can't cast a wind spell here.
Right. Are all the statues identical, or are they in different forms of the seemingly dance that they're doing?
They are all in different. They are all in different poses.
Okay. I don't think I have performance. No, I do not.
And I would say
Um,
with that natural 20, you notice that they're all holding a different amount of weapons.
Okay. Okay. Um,
Some are holding a double-bladed sword in one hand, one and then another sword. One is just holding one sword. One is holding two. One is holding two double-bladed swords.
well, we don't have double-bladed swords, but how would anybody want to be my dancing partner?
Why? What do you have in mind?
He motions towards the statues. They are doing different forms of a dance, while holding weapons. So I don't know if we need to match the weapons or just do the dance, but I can't cast magic in here, or wind magic in here. But they are doing a dance, so maybe we need to dance.
I suppose I can give it a shot.
Anybody else want a Billy Elliot in here, or what? Is it just gonna be me and Fenthwick?
Before they actually start dancing, Cora's gonna dig deep in his pack and pull out his useless longsword and just copy the pose of the one with the single sword.
Okay. You copy the pose, and it's has its blade almost flipped, pointed down, with and again, this is a broad blade. It's the actual weapons themselves are metal that these statues are holding. And again, it's this leaf-like shaped blade
Sure.
that is probably almost as wide as your chest, Core.
I do not have a sword that's like that.
Belladin checks to see if we can take the sword out of the hand.
You go and try to remove the sword.
To see if it moves at all. You know what I mean? If it can be turned and removed, if it's slotted into place somehow.
The sword?
Yes, sir.
Give me a strength check, Belladin.
Oh, I should have asked my cousin to do it. Strength, you say?
Athletics. Give me an athletics check.
I mean, it's the same number, but we'll do it. I knew I couldn't keep rolling natural 20s. That's a 5.
5. You go and try to move this blade, and it doesn't seem to budge.
Yeah, I've got both gloves on again, and my hand starts to hurt. And
Yep.
I look at someone who looks almost just like me. And I say, Hal, maybe we need to actually hold these weapons and do these poses. I think I'm too weak to remove such a big weapon. Could you see?
Hal crinkles his nose and says, I'm not sure. You seem pretty strong to me, but here, let me see if I can move this sword. And I'll try to move the sword or push it, pull it.
Give me an athletics check.
17.
17,
19, excuse me.
19. Hal, as you try to move this sword and pull and push, you start really putting your weight behind it. And the sword doesn't move. But the statue does.
Mm.
And you see it. You hear this slight clicking as you shift it ever so slightly.
Mm.
You can all give me another perception check.
Interesting.
6.
13. Holy crap, Core.
Core. You notice around the statue in the middle. This statue is entirely made of stone. Except swirling inside the swirls of stone that make up the wind, you glimpse something. It looks like wood almost. There appear to be 4 large posts, kind of interwoven, kind of in between some of these swirls of stone. And as you look at the statues around you and you look at your friends trying to push the statue in the base, you notice a large circular indent at the base of each of the statues.
Core will point out the wood. Those might be more useful than just pushing.
All right. Show me where to go and how to push and pull.
Core will walk Hal over to the statue to go grab the first.
Yep.
Do they look different? Before?
No,
Yeah.
they look identical. They're just 4 large kind of wooden posts.
Might need you to pick this one up, Hal.
They're probably the same width as in diameter as Hal's biceps. So they're pretty beefy.
Oh yeah. Not picking that up myself.
He said biceps. All right. Can I push them? Can I pull them? Can I turn them? Like, do I need to carry them somewhere? What do you want me to do with these? Are they connected?
You are able to pull them out of the slot that they're in, and kind of maneuver them through. As you kind of get closer, you realize that the stone work of the kind of wind was made in such a way that while it looks like it's, there's going to be no way, there's actually enough room to be able to pull each of these posts out.
Are there corresponding posts on the statues?
Core points out, there's a large circular indent on the base of each of these statues. Each of these statues are on kind of a circular kind of pedestal base.
Got it. I will place one in the statue that I just moved and see if I can spin it or turn it.
You place it in the statue, and you start to push, and now with the leverage, it's much easier. Go ahead and give me another athletics check.
That is a 20.
Easily, you're able to now turn this statue, and it does a full almost 360. And this whole time you hear this, as the stone grinds against the rock around it, you hear this clicking. And then finally it stops as you can't push it anymore.
All right. Go to the next one.
You
and
release.
push and pull.
You release the post, and the statue immediately spins with blinding speed as the blade that it's holding creates a gust of wind that swirls around it. I need anyone that would have been within 10 feet to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
Not me. I got out of the way when I realized that what they were doing.
Fortunately, I stopped taking the dodge action.
This just reminds me of what those toys at McDonald's where you'd like pull the race car back and it would just drive on its own.
16 for both of us.
That saves,
Mine's
so you take
actually
3
higher.
points.
Yeah.
3 points of slashing damage.
Oh, I rolled a disadvantage instead of advantage. 3 though.
I didn't.
Okay.
It's still pass. It still makes it. The DC is
Nice.
not that bad. So you take 3 points of slashing damage as the wind swirls around, and you see it start to encompass, swirl around more, and then dies down as the dust
All right.
settles.
Maybe you do the next one by yourself.
Okay. Well, I think I need to push it to a certain limit and then wait, and you guys hold on to it, and then we all like push at the last instant, and they all go together.
Yeah, we all let them go at the same time.
Yes.
Okay. But is the order 1 sword, 2 sword, or 1 blade, 2 blade?
I don't know if it matters. I think they all just need to be going at the same time.
Of course it matters.
Good luck with that.
Which one are you doing first?
The one we just did.
All right. Give me another athletics check.
$15.
Yep, easily. And it clicks into place.
And I told
then,
Core to hold
yeah.
on to it.
yeah, what is the resistance to hold it in place when it clicks like that?
Guess I'll hold it as hard as I can, DM.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to hold it once it's already been wound.
Cool.
Which one
And
do you
then
do
I'll-
next?
I'll do single bladed, the single double bladed. That's really the other single
So,
one.
The first one you did, that's the one with the single blade, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
and then there's one with 2 blades, and then there's one with a single blade and a double blade, and then 2 holding double blades.
So I'll do the single blades,
All right.
the 2 single blades, and then the 1 double
Go
blade.
over. And so just give me 3 athletics checks for me.
Whoops.
You know what? Don't bother. The DC is pretty low with the things. You're going to pass them. It's only a matter of time. So
25, 25, and 26.
So as you do the last and fourth one, you're all there holding these statues. What would you like to do?
I think we all let him go at the same time. Or
Was it like a horizontal spin last time? Like, does Core think if he lets go and ducks, he'll have a better chance? So
if you make your deck save.
So who's holding on to the statues?
are there more than 4 of us? There are more than 4 of us.
Yeah, I don't want to say that I'm exempt, but I did give up dex to get us in here.
I'm not particularly strong.
Well, you don't need to be. You're just gonna have to do
Oh.
a dex save when you let go.
Oh, okay. Well, that I can do.
I'll do one.
I'll do one.
Or was volunteered.
Yeah, should we let them go in the order of the number of blades that they have?
Sure.
So
And
we're
just-
not letting them go all at once? Okay.
Well, just like, one and then the other and then the other and the other, just in
Yep.
succession, basically. But basically all at the same time.
So you let go of the first with 1 blade, and then the second, and then the third, and then the fourth. I'll do all the saves at once, so if you can all give me a dexterity saving throw. All right.
22.
You all easily pass, so you only take 2 points of slashing damage as you let the first one go and the wind starts to build up and whip around you. And then you let the second go and it builds up, and then the wind from the first one connects and starts to spin faster. And then the third, and then the fourth. And as these all spin, now the once still air around you grows in this tempest storm as the dust is kicked up and the wind starts to grow stronger and stronger. And then you see now the grooves and pathways of the center statue start to ring and whistle as they catch the wind and propel it all around, and it swirls up. And as the fourth statue slowly stops, the wind continues to swirl within the center statue. And you hear something shift. And you hear metal on stone rolling as landing in the center palms is a metallic sphere released from somewhere inside the statue.
Who was going to do this? I don't remember.
Didn't you say you were the one who had the best ability to hold on to it and do other stuff as well?
But I'm terrible at concentrating.
I see.
Like my but you lost con in the last portal. So
I am bad at concentrating and not great when I'm stuck in one place.
we all look at the wizard.
Sorry, what are you looking for?
Someone who's good at concentrating.
I'm decent at concentrating, I suppose.
What do you like to do?
Do you have to have both hands on the thing, or like, how did it work in the last room, right? Because I can
big is
still
the sphere?
cast spells.
How big is the sphere?
It's probably about the size of a basketball. I would say let's make it more genre specific. About the size of a melon.
Maybe it has to be electricity or something. I mean,
Melon, and as you look at this sphere, and imagine, unless you were all staying far away, you can see that while it's made of metal, it is not a solid sphere. The outer portion that you can see is this intricate lattice work.
Has anyone tried touching it?
You tell me?
Sure, I'll walk up and touch it.
You
Poke out a
go,
finger and touch it.
you touch it, nothing
Yep.
happens. Fenthwick, as you get closer to it, you can see now inside this lattice work is just a maze of these connected rods with these almost, once again, similar in design but in much smaller scale, of these fan-like protrusions all throughout it in all these different configurations.
What does it look like it needs, Fenthwick?
Wind, maybe? I mean, there are fans in there. What happens if I blow on it?
You blow,
Yep.
and some of the gears and fans begin to turn just a little bit, but not much. With the amount that they have, you would think it would take a lot of wind to get them all moving.
A lot of wind.
Would you allow me to cast a wind spell that is normally a line and instead direct it into this sphere?
Belladin, you look around and you notice that the gales that were buffeting you when you first arrived, that were not touching this place, have completely stopped. Someone can roll me an investigation check. Penthwick and Poppy, you both come to the same conclusion at the same time in your mind. There was a crystal in the fire plane that connected the energy harnessed and sent it back through the portal. You haven't seen any crystal around you here.
Describe to me how the place is again. Like the statues, I assume, are in a circle.
The statues are on a circle on this flat plateau of land. The air now still all around you. And when you first came in, there were dark clouds all around.
And where did the ball come from?
You look at the center statue, and it's this same figure as the rest, but it holds no weapons. It's just holding its palms out. And you see, Poppy, its head and eyes looking towards the heavens.
And where did the ball come out from?
You're not sure. It kind of wound its way around through the kind of stonework that was made to look like a swirling wind, and then it landed in the palms.
Can it be picked up?
We could,
Like, can I lift it off the statue?
Yeah, you pick it up. It's surprisingly light.
Is there a place to put it in? At, let's say, like if we go back to the one of the other statues, the one holding a single blade.
Give me a perception check. You look around at the other statues, Poppy, and you don't see any place that would fit. Except for the palms of the statue that it came from. And you look over the statue again. Up, down, and then up again. And you look at its face and its eyes, and you follow. And you look up. And just barely out of your range of sight, you see swirling in the clouds large boulders and stones swirling, being flung about in a vortex.
Directly above us.
Directly above. And as you look up, one of the dark clouds parts, and a bit of light permeates through from an unseen source. And you see a flash in the center. Almost like a gleam. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Nice.
And welcome back. So, Poppy, as you look up towards the sky, following the line of sight from the center statue, you see this swirling vortex high up in the clouds and what seems to be these impossible large chunks of rock and boulders being swirled about. And you saw a slight gleam in the center of blue.
I don't know. Maybe are we supposed to put this thing over there, and then Poppy points it out to everybody.
Oh,
Whoa.
maybe who can carry it up there?
I mean, how far are we really talking about here? Like height-wise?
Yeah. How high above us is it?
In the clouds. Pretty high up.
How light is this thing? You said it's pretty light?
Yeah, so again, it's not solid metal, right? It's this kind of intricate lattice work of all these, almost seems like woven metal around it, right? And then the inside is all these, almost like gear-like rods and ends and bands all attached throughout.
Poppy will cast Mage Hand, and can the Mage Hand lift it?
Yeah.
If the Mage Hand can lift it, I assume then a familiar could lift it?
It probably could.
When we activated the statues, it didn't. The ball came out from the center statue. It wasn't like it didn't fall from the sky or anything, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Didn't you say there was a vortex going from the hand? Like maybe we need to activate the statues again and the vortex will push the ball up. We should do that before.
Poppy snaps her fingers and points at Hal.
And so I'll go start moving the outer statues again to see if we can make the air happen.
All right.
Then I guess I'll have the Mage Hand put the sphere back on the hands of the statue.
How you go to move the statues again, and they appear to be locked in place.
Okay. So maybe not that. Okay. Well, maybe not that, Poppy. Maybe, and he points to the owl on your head. Maybe they have to take it up there, or we have to bring the air down here.
Can also have the giant blue hand take it up there.
True.
Through his gritted teeth, he bellowed and says, "Or I could take it up there," motioning to his boots.
I mean, I don't think both of those options are quite expensive. Who would you mind? How does Poppy interpret that?
It's your familiar. He'll do what you say.
All right.
Looks up towards the vortex and just like,
I forgot how far is it for the telepathy to work?
100 feet.
100 feet. So definitely over 100 feet. Okay. boulders swirling around there. I mean, at least I know I can get who back. I don't know if I could get a Belladin back. So I'll ask who to go ahead and take it straight up into the center of the vortex.
It
if stuff
turns
gets
its head all the way
dicey,
around.
if stuff gets dicey up there, drop it and come back.
All right. You see whose tiny little figure hop off the top of your head and fly over to the statue where you've placed this metal sphere, and his tiny little talons grab onto it, and he starts flapping his wings real hard, and eventually you see who flying off towards the vortex.
And I'd be able to sense if he goes poof, right? I should
Yes.
be able to, I think. Yeah.
So you see as who gets closer to the vortex, he's starting to struggle a bit as the winds grow stronger, and you see him kind of fall back a little bit and push forward more. I need a dexterity saving throw from who?
Dex. It is just. Oh, somebody told me that. It's a 2 plus 1. It's a 3.
And everyone can give me perception checks. I would say you're all able to see it pretty much. As who was starting to make his way into the vortex itself, you see him kind of being whipped around a bit as the sphere is caught in the wind, and he's dragging who along in the vortex almost. And doesn't seem to have quite the strength or dexterity to be able to fly and hold this as it's being buffeted in this gale as the wind passes through the ball. You do see it start. You all notice the faint, ever small bit of glowing blue from the sphere itself. You're just barely able to notice it as you see it kind of being chaotically blown about. And then, Poppy, you feel the connection with who vanish as you all see the sphere be flown out and flung out of the vortex.
Whoops!
And
which direction? Like, is this a home run kind of deal? Like
yeah, pretty much. Luckily, you're able to see it. And while it is a bit of a distance, it's not like you lose it. Again, this is just a flat, open landscape that appears to go on endlessly.
I'm not dexterous, so would anyone like to attune to my boots? Because I think that's the only mode of flight we have available.
Is it this? Didn't someone have a broom?
I don't think it was this campaign.
That was the last one.
Ah, that's right.
I mean,
yes. Court reaches into his giant bag of stuff and pulls out the broom.
I
No, it
mean,
was the last one. You're right.
if you want, I guess I could go up there with your boots.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because it's like It's clearly this whole thing is a round deck, so it's really between you and Core.
Yep. I can also go.
Who wants to? He's already got the boots off. And you notice the wings on winged boots traditionally are these like almost like eagle wings. But these are scaly leathered wings on these boots.
Like pterodactyl wings.
Definitely not eagle wings.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors.
Stone shears parchment, I think is what it's called.
Don't know how to
Okay,
play that.
or here, I have a coin. I have a coin. All right.
Would you like to go, little one?
So no, well, we could do this. I have a
You
coin.
want to play the game? Is what you're saying? Okay, we will play
If-
your game.
If um tails, you go up. Heads, you lose. Okay.
Where can I put this? I'm gonna put this GIF into the chat.
Core looks over at Belladin. I don't understand this game.
That's the face that Belladin makes when she says that.
You ready?
Core just starts putting the boots on.
Oh, we gotta wait an hour. Unfortunately, they're freaking attuned. So
Well, I mean, I have to put them on and then
Yes.
wait in them for an hour.
yes.
Oh, wait,
So
do I
what do you
have-
all do in the hour waiting?
Apparently, I watched this game. Show me.
Oh no, you already have the boots on. I'm not worried about it anymore.
And then everybody else gets a short rest, including the attuner, which means you get that HP back, Core.
Yes, you all can take a short rest if you need it.
Retin, Yusin, I really thought we were gonna get in combat. Like Belladin's temp HP goes away. That's a bummer.
That +2 hurts.
Puppy saved the deck saving throw, right?
Yeah, you only took like 2 points of damage or something.
No, that would mean that she didn't take any.
Yep,
Oh,
which is
right,
why
evasion.
Poppy is way
Yeah.
more suited to do this, but Core's not gonna fight.
Whoa.
I was just trying to roleplay there. I would have gone.
Core, unfortunately,
would've
Core
ended up
was
being-
also role playing.
That's funny.
Poppy did volunteer before Core even said anything.
Yeah.
Another option would be a giant eagle to go up there.
Would my stats be better as a giant eagle? Okay. If I die, you guys will bring me back, right?
What level are you?
All right.
You
So
have
just
evasion as well.
I do have evasion as well.
Yeah. So you both have the thing that makes this good. Well, what is happening here? Why are we acting
So
like you didn't get
I've just
evasion?
been taking fake damage all game. Is
Yes,
what you're telling
yes.
me?
You got it at level 7.
I worked too hard.
you've had it for 3 levels.
Yeah.
Do you flop like a basketball player when you save?
Absolutely.
No, it's more like a soccer player.
Soccer player.
Yep. I was like,
Core
wait a
does the
minute.
opposite. Instead of taking a dive, Core purposely stands in the way and takes damage rather than moving when he could.
It didn't say what direction I flopped in. I just said I flopped.
I was like,
Alright.
wait, monks have evasion. What is going on here?
I forget I'm a monk sometimes, okay? I just want to be a Power Ranger.
Is that what?
Oh my goodness, is that what all? Wow. You know, everything's starting to make sense.
Great. Now for the rest of the campaign, I have this image of Thor now. What color, at least?
It's
of
the pink
course.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because the archer. Yeah. Nice. All right. So we get our short rest. I get my wild shape back, thankfully, and now you are attuned to the winged boots.
Yay.
All right. So Core, you're going up there alone?
Oh, can Poppy resummon during that short rest?
If you have the components.
I think I got 2 left. Let me see here.
Did you want me to take your bird?
No. My bird's gonna be happily sitting on my head.
When you ask that question, like, none of us can fly. Why would you ask that? Unless we've missed something completely obvious. Is there anything that we obviously missed?
Belladin raises his hand. I can polymorph somebody into a giant eagle.
That's why I mentioned Giant Eagle earlier.
Does anybody
know,
want to
but-
be a giant eagle?
Outside of that, is there anything else that I missed when I fell asleep there for like 2 minutes?
No, I'm just wondering what tools you have available to you if you'd like to use them.
Okay. All right.
I found out I'm a monk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
Jason.
I'm asking because
yeah.
one of you didn't know you had evasion for the past 3 levels, all right?
Okay. So nothing obvious. There isn't like a stair step of
There's no like a
clouds that I can
stairwell,
walk.
no.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
But
Like,
you have
You know,
a wizard
we-
and a druid, and you have winged boots. So
we
I'm
throw
asking you what you'd
sand.
like to do.
We throw sand just to the left of where we've been standing, and just like in Indiana Jones, there's a
Yeah,
staircase,
there's a
that's been
staircase.
invisible this entire time.
And don't forget, Poppy did say, like, she said, like, hey, I don't want to sacrifice a Belladin right now, since I have one familiar, so I...
Yep, she prefers to sacrifice a core.
Damn.
I would also prefer to sacrifice a core. Core can't bring back Belladin.
My goodness. That's true. If you hit the ground, I can heal you.
If there's anything left.
I'll try to catch you.
Oh. I mean, more than one person can go up because we can create
No.
an eagle and then have maybe we.
How
I
far
make-
is that?
Core, if I
Is
see
it-
you coming down, I'll make sure I'll come within 60 feet of you and cast Featherfall.
Yeah.
It's in the clouds, you said, but is it foggy clouds? Is it the lower marine layer? Is it like
But
the clouds above Canada?
Let's
Do
just say
we-
it's like a lower marine layer.
Gotcha.
Because you're able to see the sphere and see
So
see who.
so we're talking hundreds of feet, not thousands of feet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also impossible for monks to die from fall damage, right?
Sure.
Sure.
We can just say that. Um, uh, we could just say things. This is a game. No, but for real, I could change Hal into a giant eagle, and then um Poppy could ride Hal, and if Hal loses eagle form because of like damage or something, then Poppy is there to cast Featherfall on both of them.
Or we could just tie our
Belden,
ropes
with
together
your
and give it
perception
to
check,
Core.
you see that
That's true.
the pieces of rock and boulders that swirl around
Mhm.
are big enough that you could probably stand on them.
Oh, we just need to get up there.
Hmm.
Oh,
Now that sounds a lot more cooler.
it does sound cooler.
If we tied our ropes together, could Core take it up there? Is it that close? We got like
Like what you guys stay on the ground? No.
300 feet of rope.
No.
Telling me that Archie and Who don't have their own rope.
So it's like 310 feet high.
Just say it's like 500. Just say it's like 500 feet.
Yeah. Why would we have 10 things of rope? We will from this point on, after this part of the adventure.
You're all over encumbered with rope.
It's all just rope.
I've got
All of my go ahead.
I've got like 3 things of rope.
We
Why do I
just
have
make
so much
our
rope?
armor out of rope. Maybe that's because barbarians don't wear armor, right? Maybe you just have that tied all over your body.
Yeah, exactly.
Wearing paracord.
Holding up my draws.
Yeah, monks also have slow fall.
Oh, at 4th level. Jason.
What?
5 times. 5 times your monk level.
Correct.
So,
So-
you can reduce 50 points of damage.
Correct.
It's so funny. Why? Okay.
I figured out I was a monk once you guys reminded me.
So by the looks of the boulders up there, it's like once we get up there, does it look like we'd be able to move from boulder to boulder? You know, like
With well-timed, dexterous movement, you
oh
could.
my god.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm.
I mean, do you? So Poppy's got
Think of
Featherfall.
it like an ant. Like it's. Think of it like in Naruto, right? You'd be able to like jump from rock to rock, but you got to time it. And you're also like.
What did you just say? Think of it like
yeah,
what?
I've never seen
Never
that
seen
show
anything.
either. So
The way I imagine it is like Dragon's Lair. I don't know if any of you guys played that, where you kind of have to time your things to make Dirk the Daring move.
You
Pretty
don't have to show me all of my abilities. I know some of them.
Oh no, I didn't mean to click that. I'm sorry.
The rest of this session is just teaching for how his character works.
Can't monks just run straight up walls?
Yes, they can.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe I just make a 500-foot wall of force and just have Core run up it. No, I feel like the giant eagle has merit, so that way Core's just not up there by himself. I really don't think I am not Dexy. There's a real chance. There's a reason why Belladin has those boots, and it's because he's gonna fall. He will fall.
Can your hand carry us all up there like a
No,
500-foot rope?
That much.
one at a time? Didn't you punch that dragon for like 10 minutes straight?
Well, first, the hand only lasts for a minute. Yeah, there's no way it can carry all of us.
Well, I
even,
suppose.
or even most of us.
Well, I suppose my hand can carry me up there. Let me look if I still, or is that my other character? Oh, nope, never mind.
Yeah, I don't have fly, so like just casting fly on someone would make this a lot easier. The best I have right now is polymorph.
Because like I could carry myself up there if somebody shrinks me.
I did not prepare enlarge for use.
Yeah, I thought I had a flask of enlarge. But I guess that was probably my other character. I mean, I don't mind going up there.
Oh, I suppose I could levitate someone.
It's just it's the kind of thing where it's a cyclone, right? So the boulders are going to be moving around. Being able to like move on your own power is kind of important. So the idea of like
Yeah,
levitating is pretty slow. It's 20 feet, right?
yeah, and you can't move to your own accord. You have to have some type of
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. You'd probably be at the wind's mercy.
Which would be bad news with all the boulders flying around.
At second level core, you get key points. Key points can
Hey,
be
that's
used to
just
do
mean.
things like
You don't need
flurry
to
of
be mean.
blows.
Those I remember. Sorry, I
See,
woke
the
up
thing-
today expecting violence, not flying.
Yeah, me too. Like all my spells are designed for basically the last encounter we did. The good thing about polymorph though is it's concentration up to an hour. So as long as you don't lose the HP, you can be an eagle for an hour. You know what I mean?
I know. I never want to be that smart again.
Oh no.
Okay.
It was hell.
And
That's-
polymorph Poppy.
That's very funny. Poppy, you do want to be a
Alright.
giant eagle?
I realize what time it is now,
Yeah.
and starting a possible encounter with whatever you're gonna face up there might last a little while. So why don't we do this? You guys can, at dawn, we plan.
Okay.
So you guys can take the time to figure out what would you like to do
For next week?
for next week.
I
All
understood from the
right.
shoes.
That's so funny. I mean, I
And,
could totally. Well, no, but you're super dexy.
We can
Oh,
say.